they may not understand things like the sensitivity to sensory, stimuli. They might not understand that, behaviors may be, if students are reacting to being overstimulated or understimulated, it may come out in a behavioral way and it may also impact academics. So I think part of it's not just a lack of awareness, a lack of training.
One of the challenges with it is because the accommodations are really going to depend on the severity of the disorder, where they are on the spectrum, because it's considered a spectrum disorder. And the majority of kids, around 70% or so of kids with autism, also have some type of intellectual disability or severe learning issue.
I think it's probably the same as it was years ago. It's just that there's more awareness. So, and remember that IDEA did not have a category for autism until the 90s. So in the 1990s, when it had its separate category, more individuals were being moved to that. There was a misdiagnosis previously where a lot of individuals with ASD were put in the category of intellectual disabilities, and now they have their own category, and so that category is growing and the numbers are growing, but I think it's more just awareness.
And so I think it's more important, rather than looking at the label, it's more important to look at the person and what that person needs and what would be most beneficial for that.
I actually am the founder and a researcher in a program at my former institution called Students on Campus Achieving Results. It was called SOAR. And it was a collaboration between the area special ed unit and the university, and we started a program for individuals in their last 2 years of high school, 18 to 21, and the goal of that program was for vocational training.
Well, I started out as a special education teacher, and at that time, because it was in the late 70s, autism was not identified as its own category under special education law. And so I worked with kids with what were considered severe emotional and behavior problems. And at that time, kids with autism were lumped under that category.
Sometimes there aren't any accommodations that need to be made. But it's just at that level, it's more important for the students to advocate for themselves and talk to their professors. If there's not accommodations that they need on a regular basis, to go to the professors and say, hey, I have this issue with noise or sound, or I need written directions, or I need you to tell me when something's going to change. So at that point, it's more of the student's responsibility to advocate for themselves, I think.
In the school system, the accommodations are required by law. And then when they become adult, they're required by law also with American with Disabilities Act. So do we do a good job with it? I think we do a good job with some of it.
I think there's a lack of awareness, and there might be an interpretation of discrimination, but I don't think that faculty at either the K through 12 or at the university level would knowingly discriminate against someone with a disability. I think sometimes if they're not accommodating, it's because they don't know to accommodate, but I don't think outward discrimination is as big as it might have been in the past.
Yes, the law requires it. The American with Disabilities Act that was passed in 1992 requires that anyone with a disability continue to get accommodations if they have an identified disability. So not only is it necessary, but it's required by law.